What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. And I'm with my guy, Callum, with our one-to-one catch-up of the week. Callum, how you doing, brother? You good?
I'm good, bro. Not as good as you, but I'm good. I'm good, man.
Yeah. Now, big up to you, man. Big up to everyone who's locked in right now. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, it's been an indifferent week for both of us, man. You know what I mean? I've got 3 points. You got 1 point. Let's be honest. You kind of got the point, but it was like with 10 men, and it's, you know what I mean? It's maybe more positives than negatives. But all in all, it's not too disheartening, you know what I'm saying to you? And it's mad because that weekend, when I looked at the whole of Europe here, and I mean the whole of Europe, like not many teams won their games. Real Madrid drew, Barcelona lost. I mean, obviously Arsenal drew their games, Man City lost. You drew their games. Juventus drew. Like, it was so many teams in Europe. Someone was going through it on Twitter, and like it was mad, bro. And it just shows you like them kind of weekends will happen. You know, they will happen, bro.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah. I'll be honest. So I've had obviously a few sleeps since the Fulham game.
Yeah.
At the time, I was frustrated because I looked at that as a game where I think we should be trying to get 3 points. And obviously, Fulham are a good team, but we're Liverpool, and not in an arrogant way. That's a game at home I believe we should be winning. When I strip back everything, I look at the context of the game, the fact that Robertson got sent off, the fact that I think they should have had a red card for the tackle on Gravenberch. I think we should have had a penalty with the Joe Gomez situation. And even though I know commentators and people have come out recently saying that Robbo shouldn't have been sent off, I don't have a problem with the red card. I didn't have a problem at the time. I still don't have a problem now. That has probably given me a bit more confidence. That performance has given me a bit more confidence for the rest of the season, though, because I think it would have been very easy to lose that game and go, well, we went down to 10 men early. We're already a goal down. We lost, but we dust ourselves off. I think the desire we showed in that game, the fact that Fulham sat there and went, it feels like we're still playing against 11 men. The fact that we came back twice after going goals down, kept on going till the end, almost grabbed a winner at the end as well. That fills me with a lot of confidence. That's let me know that the boys are pulling in the right direction. Slot has literally got this team in the image that he wants them in, even if he hasn't got all the players he wants in certain positions. That filled me with a lot of confidence, bro. And obviously, there's a long way to go in the season. And again, I've been vocal saying I still don't know if we'll win the league, but that filled me with a lot of confidence. And this team is going in the right direction, even if we don't win the league this season.
Yeah, I want to particularly focus on a player, right, who might not be going in the right direction, and that is Nunez. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about this brother. You know, like yesterday he scored a goal, but it feels like the fan base are still not happy with it. You think Nunez is a scapegoat, or do you think the justification of his, I don't know, criticism is warranted? Like, where do you sit with him? Because it's difficult, because it's like I can see what he can give you, but he ain't a clinical forward.
Yeah.
But like, you didn't buy him just to be a chaos attacker. You bought him for a lot of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to score goals. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, you see what I mean, bro?
Yeah. So I think two things can be right at the same time sometimes. I think he isn't delivering what he should be, hence why there's a lot of frustration in the fan base. I also do think he is scapegoated sometimes. So this is something me and Drift go back and forth a lot on Coppish with, because Drift's a big Nunez fan. I'm not Nunez's biggest fan. I never have been. Even when we were linked with him before we signed him, I really wasn't on board with the signing. I'll be honest, I was hoping you guys would get him instead of us, because he just wasn't a player that I really looked at and thought, yeah, he's the guy that's going to change things. The thing with Nunez, in the first season, you can give him a blight in it, because you look at someone like Nicholas Jackson now, who's his first season was pretty average, whereas now he looks like he's really kicked on and he's going to be that player that Chelsea need for the foreseeable future. He didn't kick on in the second season, and then in the summer just gone, everyone's going, all right, well, Slot plays with a lone striker and he plays with a number 10, plays a 4-2-3-1 system, which is usually built around the number 9 and allows the number 9 to get more chances, more goals, etc. And it hasn't happened for him at all. In fact, I'd almost say he's regressed as a player this season. Slot system depends a lot on technical efficiency, receiving the ball under pressure, passing out well, making the right decisions. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that. He thrives, as you use the word, in chaos. We don't play chaotic football anymore. So his technical deficiencies are brought to the fore even more now than they were previously because it was high intensity, it was fast paced before. Whereas now we've slowed things down. We know when to speed up the intensity, but we also know when to pull it back a little bit and go, we'll rest on the ball as opposed to pace up and down. In terms of his finishing, bro, he's one of the most frustrating finishers I've seen in my lifetime at Liverpool.
Yeah,
He was
bro.
the hardest chances and missed the easiest chances. And
Yeah.
I know people speak about the price tag. For me, I don't really care about the price tag because the club makes enough money to be able to splash that sort of money. I'm not saying we do it every summer or we do it every transfer window, but every other couple of windows, we should be able to splash that big money and not think, oh, this has to work or else it's the end of the world. But if we signed him on a free and he was still missing these sort of chances, I'd still be frustrated as well. So the price is irrelevant for me. It's what he's doing or lack of what he's doing in games. Yesterday's game, for example, he scores the goal, but outside like overall play was awful, bro. Like
Awful. I
watching the
seen
game,
it. Yeah.
like 5-yard passes, and he's meant to be passing the ball that way, but it's going that way, and he's putting our team under pressure. I'm like, this isn't right. But then also you see when Jota comes on against Fulham, you see when Jota comes on yesterday, it's a whole different game. Like he holds the ball well, he knows the decisions to make, he's finishing to another level. So if I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, I would move Nunez on in the summer. If we could move him on in January, I'd move him on. I think he's a player almost similar to what Forlan was. By the way, I'm not saying he's as good as Forlan. Technically, Forlan was another level. But you see how Forlan left Man United. Everyone thought it was a scrub, and then he went and killed it for the rest of his career. I could see Nunez doing something like that in Italy or Spain. Not to the level of Forlan, but I can see us going, oh, right, why didn't he do that at Liverpool? But I just don't think it works.
There's so many players that happen like that. You're thinking to yourself, they leave the club and you're like, oh, damn, man, bro. We couldn't get, like, for example, for me, it was Henrik Mkhitaryan. He came in, and then even though he was playing out of position a few times, but still the consistency maybe wasn't as there. Went to Inter Milan and just
killed it.
You know what I mean? Obviously, he went to Arsenal for a little bit, but then when he went to Europe, he just killed it, bro. And he's still playing now to a high level. You know what I mean? So I look at situations like that, and you're right. You know, when you look at players who come to a new league, you know, and he came from the Portuguese league, which normally there's meant to be a high success rate, but before that, he must have came from South America, right? And came, you know, as a raw talent.
No, he came from Spain. He was at I think it was Almeria.
Oh, so he has been around in Europe then. So
yeah, this is what I'm saying. There's no excuses in my opinion. Like, he should be refined enough now.
Then. Yeah,
because that's another thing. Our fan base, we almost kind of baby him. Like, he's 25 years old now.
I know.
Like, he's not a kid anymore. And I think what's gone against the fan base, when we first signed him, because City signed Haaland at the same time, as a fan base, we almost had copium a little bit and was like, yeah, Haaland's the better finisher, but Nunez does this better, he does that better, he does that better. He'll score maybe just as many as Haaland based on the amount of chances he gets and all the other things he does in his game. But even assists, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Haaland might have more assists in the Premier League since they both signed than he does.
Wow.
And we know Haaland's not an assist guy.
Assist guy, bro.
He's not. And then in terms of goals, it's not even close. Like, Darwin, if I'm not mistaken, has got 2 in the league this season, either 2 or 3 in the league this season. He scored 11 last season and 9 the season before. He's got 24. The most he's got is 25 league goals since he's been in England. You look at strikers like Isak, who got 21 last season. Haaland's getting that regularly. Kane was getting that. And I know I'm comparing him to top strikers, but we're Liverpool. We're meant to have a top striker. Man United, they're meant to have a top striker. City have a top striker. Arsenal are looking at it right now. Everyone's going, why have Arsenal not got a top striker up there? Like, these teams have known throughout the years to be having killer strikers, and at the moment, none of our teams have. But it looks even worse with Nunez because he's in a better team and he's getting more chances than the others as well.
Yeah, and obviously when you look at the striker market now, everyone needs one. Like, Arsenal need one. United are probably going to look in the market. Chelsea might add another one to Jackson. Man City might add a second to Haaland now that, you know, that they need to find another source of goals. Like, who would you want? Like, obviously, if you had to look in the market right now, and you were to get a Darwin Nunez replacement, who would you look for? Because Jota's not reliable. Salah, you can't look towards every year to score goals. Diaz is looking on the corner. He's in a bit of a patch right now where he's not got no goals in 10. Who would you say in world football right now do you believe Liverpool should be going after as a striker next summer?
The person I think we should go after is Isak. Before we even signed Nunez, I was saying Isak's the guy. Go and get Isak, and I got a lot of pushback in the fan base because he didn't have the greatest of scoring records before Newcastle signed him. I understood the arguments, but and again, I'm not saying I'm some savant or anything, but you know when you watch certain players and you go, he's ready to take the step up.
Yeah, of course.
I look at Isak and I think he's there. He in his movements, and I'm not saying he's like this player before anyone goes crazy, but his movements and his finishing style.
Thierry Henry, go on.
Yes, you know it. You can
see it. Body movements, mannerisms.
So it's like I look at him and he's someone who can bring others into play, got good dribbling, good pace, decent at pressing. The only drawback with him is his injury record. That's the only thing. But everything else, bro, he ticks the boxes, man. He would be my perfect striker. Another one I'd look at in terms of someone who could potentially develop into that striker is Benjamin Sesko.
Oh, you know what? It's a bit of a risk, that one, though, man.
He is, though, and I don't think we're in a position to take that risk at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless if Jota stays and Sesko comes in, I think we could potentially do it.
Yes.
But it's still a risk because, as you said, Jota's injury record is not the greatest.
He's the potential to be a world beater, but then he's also got potential to be
crap.
Another player that's been hyped up for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Another one, Gyökeres is good. Shall I be honest with you? I might stand alone on this one. Gyökeres doesn't move me like he moves a lot of people. I know he's got a good goal scoring record, but I don't know if he thrives in the Premier League like a lot of people thinks he does. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that one. Maybe you guys get him, and because he's played under Amorim before and he understands the system, it could work. I don't know if it would work at Liverpool with Gyökeres. So for me, it'd be Isak or Sesko would be the other one I look at.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. It's interesting, but what about baby Jesus, man? You know what I mean? He scored a hat-trick last night. You know what I'm saying to you? I've got a thumbnail here. That, obviously, I don't know if you'll have seen it yet, but I got this on the thumbnail. You know what I mean? R9. You know what I mean? Yesterday, got a goal. Arsenal, to be fair, lucky. Offside, to be fair. It was offside. Dad VAR. But Jesus is another striker that Arsenal now, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, they need to give this guy a run in now because Havertz is drying up his goals here. How do you sum up Jesus? Because it's a tricky one, you know. Jesus is like he's got good fundamentals. Like he could good hold up play, good link up play. He can get out little tight spaces, but then he can do it. He can do that kind of finish yesterday where he dinked it over the keeper.
Yeah.
But bro, he misses too many easy chances. Similar again to Darwin Nunez in that aspect, but technically better than Darwin Nunez. But like he's what? How old is he right now? Is he 27, 28 now?
Must be about that, But I look at Jesus and I look at him and I go, if he could finish like Haaland or even 75% like Haaland, he'd be one of the best strikers in the world. As you said, in terms of everything else, good pace. He's strong on the ball, tricky as anything. Great retention, good passing, good vision. But he's got everything else apart from the thing that he's paid to do, and that's stick the ball in the back of the net. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd be so frustrated with him because everything up until the last decision is almost perfect. He brings others into play. He almost reminds me of what Firmino was as well. He could play the false nine if you need him to as well. But the finishing isn't there. And I think Arsenal are in the same position as us. I think they need a killer up top. And I think Jesus could be a fantastic squad player. He's not the guy that's going to take them to the next level, though. He's not the guy that you think, right, we're going to have two chances in this game. We need one of them to go in. He's not the guy. Same way Nunez isn't. Like, it just is what it is. You're right. There is just a shortage of strikers at the moment, or top quality strikers.
It's actually quite embarrassing, though, that Arsenal Football Club, Man United Football Club, to an extent, Liverpool in terms of obviously you guys still going for the league or whatnot. Even Chelsea, to not have top strikers, or do we just have to understand that, you know what, man, we're gonna have to have players like Jackson who, at the minute, they people might not believe in them, but they are blossoming into a good striker, which Jackson is now proven to be a reliable striker for Chelsea. But even then, sometimes they say to themselves, you know what, next season we need to go buy Duran. We need to go buy now, look, Duran. As much as I like him,
he's not great.
I'm guaranteed to get them goals. I'm guaranteed to see him rise up. Ollie Watkins, I can't believe him, bro.
Yeah, he's inconsistent, man.
He's inconsistent, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
he's inconsistent.
where do we look to when? And this is where us football club like, yo, you need to break the bank this summer.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm hearing that you want Isak, oh my god, they need to break the bank for Isak, bro.
Yeah,
and really, really get that player for 100 million, 110 million, but then know that, you know what, that title might come next season, or the title, you know, something might come big from that, you know.
Yeah, I think teams might have to start being a bit more bold and brave, and maybe start looking on like into the South American market, because I mean, historically, South Americans have breeded some of the best strikers known to ever grace the game. What we tend to do is, as a Liverpool and your Man United, we go, okay, that player, we'll let them go to a Bournemouth, or we'll let them go to a Brighton.
Yeah,
how they get on, and then we'll buy them. But you're spending what, in excess of like 70 million sometimes buying that player. I'd rather take the punt on that player with them being like £8 to £9 million, and then if it works out, then you go, all right, perfect, it's worked out for £9 million. If it doesn't work out, you can go, yeah, we can write it off. It's only 9 million. I think we as clubs have to start being a bit more bold and brave, and going and trying to get these players before they become the household name. João Pedro is another one. We've been linked with João Pedro. Again, I think he's good. He doesn't necessarily move me like that. I think he's another player who is just good. He could make the step up, but I don't see him being a killer in front of goal, even though he's got good fundamentals. I just want someone, bro, who, when they step onto the pitch, I think to myself, like, all right, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, Fernando Torres, Luis Suarez, even Firmino might not have scored, but I know Firmino is going to give me a fantastic game. Daniel Sturridge, like, the list goes on.
You would love a Daniel Sturridge right now. You know what I mean?
Bro, I just want to see that dance again, bro. Like, I just want to see the dance again. But even Jota's got that. We just don't get to see Jota enough on the football pitch.
Yeah, it's a shame because he just is not capable of staying fit. That's his problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but now you're spot on, you know, in terms of that, you know, and like I said, bro, it's taking the punt in it, but like, you know, like clubs now are not looking for that right now. They're waiting around, they're looking, they're probing. But now, like you said, bro, there's a shortage of strikers at that top level, and you've got to be extra careful when you do buy these players, because now everyone don't want to buy flop. We bought Højlund in, and don't get me wrong, he's one for future. But again, is he ready next season or even this season to take us over that line? You know, Xerxes is number 10. I'm looking at players like Cunha. You know what I mean? Maybe he's someone who can play in that role, and maybe you don't necessarily play with a striker. You play with a CF or a false 9, but then you build the 10s. Like, your wingers maybe have to be. Maybe the future is the wingers. Where
I was just gonna say this to you. Obviously, before we started, we were speaking about Diallo, and like, I'll be honest, Ten Hag. If Ten Hag played Diallo, he might still have a job at United right now. If I'm gonna be honest, like, it's crazy that you weren't utilizing the kid. But you look at Diallo, like, say for example, you have a Højlund who's very good at holding up the play and linking up the play. If you got someone like a Diallo who can run beyond him, maybe that works. Bruno gets you goals. So again, I know Rashford's the talk of the town at the moment, but if you get someone on the left-hand side doing or replicate what Diallo is doing, maybe Højlund's goals can be masked because he can be the facilitator. But you do need that killer on the left-hand side. It's like when we had Mane and Salah, bro. Firmino weren't getting mad amount of goals, but you knew Firmino would be facilitating, be dragging centre-backs this way and that way. So Mane and Salah could just invade.
What was that GA combined, like, you know, while they were there? Like, what was their...
Oh, Mane and Salah.
Yeah, what was their kind of like? I wonder what they...
Well, in the Premier League, you're looking about at least 35 a season.
Wow.
At least 35. Like, them two, man. Like, bro, when I tell you I was living my best life when Mane and Salah were doing everything and Firmino.
1920 season, Mane scored 22 goals, Salah scored 23 goals. 17-18 season, Mane, Firmino, and Salah combined for 338 goals. Salah scoring most of the 156, followed by Mane at 107 and Firmino at 75. Is that actually true?
Yeah.
He scored 333 goals that season.
No, not that season. No,
that's since 2017. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, man, I got that wrong, man. That's
Bro, them three, bro, like,
that's a lot of goals, man.
Yeah, and if one of them didn't turn up, you knew one of the others would turn up.
Oh,
Whereas now, bro, if Salah don't turn up now, I don't know where the goals are coming from. And especially if Jota's not there. If Jota's there, maybe we do something with Jota. But if Salah don't turn up, bro, it's looking slim. I tell you, do you know what? I tell you who does deserve a bit of credit. Gakpo. Gakpo stepped up.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So Gakpo's a weird one. He's almost opposite to Jesus to an extent, where Jesus is really busy and is always involved in the game. Gakpo is not always involved in the game, and he can be quite predictable in his playing style, but he does seem to just have a nous for just getting on the end of stuff and just scoring goals. So I have to give Gakpo his flowers, to be honest. Like, he stepped up recently and he deserves his credit.
Yeah. I want to discuss Marcus Rashford. Obviously, we kind of touched on him a little bit in that aspect. Yeah. He's been left out of the squad again. Ruben Amorim, right? It's funny. Yeah. He had a press conference yesterday. Apparently, there was no questions about Tottenham. Every single question was about Rashford, you know. And obviously said a few words of, he should have really spoke to me. He should never really went to the interview. And it's dominated every single press conference now, because now he's not involved tomorrow. If, on Friday, it'll be a case of, Rashford didn't play. Yeah. Is he going to be back? Like, how does Amorim deal with this? Is it a case of you, like, saying to him, you're not playing now until the rest of the year? Like, does he just say, you know what, you come back in so I avoid, the questions of, what about his future? Because the media love this, bro. They love drama. They love it. So he's calm for now. He's answering them in a way that he don't want any, headline stories from it. But sooner or later, he might crack, he might say, you lot need to relax with these questions. I'm done, like he might do. Might get pissed off.
The Rashford one's a really tricky one. I think Rashford gets he's almost like your Nunez, isn't it? Like, he gets scapegoated, but he also gets rightly criticized as well from his performances.
Yeah.
The problem with Rashford is he's had no consistency or continuity in his Manchester United career in terms of managerials, whether it be playing style, managers, philosophy, or anything. That's affected his natural progression. I think he's held himself back as a footballer as well, because I look at Rashford when he broke through to Rashford now. I don't see much development in his game. And again, he's not a kid, bro. He's 27 now as well?
27 now, man.
He's not a kid, bro. Like, he's a big man now, isn't it? So he should know what he's doing on the football pitch. I think he needs a change of scenery. I think he has to leave the club. I think you guys need to sell him to move on from him. Amorim he's in a lose-lose situation, because let's say you don't play Rashford and your striking force looks lackluster, then the media's going to run with, well, if Rashford was playing today, maybe he could have done something. Yeah. And then if he freezes Rashford out, you're going to get some sections of the fan base going, but Rashford's one of ours and he came through the academy and he's just been frozen out. Facts. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. At the moment, I think he's doing the right thing by leaving him out, because I think it just takes away from the spotlight. And when you're playing a game, it's just focused on the game. I think he's good with that, just dealing with it outside the game. I think it makes sense what he's doing right now. If Rashford wants to leave and move on, you can't have him in and around the squad. It doesn't make sense. You try and find him a move that suits you and suits the buying club and suits the player, and just move on from him. Look, I hope Rashford, I'm saying this as a Liverpool fan, I hope when Rashford leaves, he gets a good send-off, because like, he is one of yours. He's come through the academy. But I don't think he's a player you're going to really miss. I actually think it'll be beneficial to you guys losing Rashford and bringing in a replacement at this point, because he's not going to give you any consistency. No. Plus, it's got Arsenal written all over. I don't know why. It's got Arsenal written all over.
Jeez. Nah, I can't. Like, for me, I'm not bothered. Like, with me, I genuinely, I'm not bothered where he goes, because we've used every bit of Marcus Rashford. And it's not one of them for me to kind of almost say, I want him to go and I want him to find a new future, but then dictate where he should go next. Like, I generally, like, it's a Premier League. It's happened before. Players have gone from one club to another club. It happens, innit? For me, let them come in, you know what I mean, and take him. I just want, listen, I want the best for him. You know, he can go and do what you got to do. But for me, it's the reality of the manager saying, yo, listen, man, I don't need no egos in here. I don't want no players that think they're better than what they are. I want a team, bro. Like, he could have got absolutely killed by the media if he'd have lost that match of derby, knowing that Garnacho and Rashford. They would have said, yo, you're too militant. You don't do that when you just arrived. You don't make enemies. Da-da-da-da. Then all of a sudden you lost 3 in a row there. Do you know what I'm trying to say, bro?
Yeah,
So that right there is something that he would have been fully aware of. But you know what? Top managers, they take that gamble. They take that. They stick on their principle. They stand on business. Yeah. They
Can I ask you a
stand
question,
on
bro?
business.
It obviously Rashford kind of plays in that left hand space. Who would you like to see come in and sort of be his replacement?
Bro, I'm looking at a couple of names. I've got Kvaratskhelia.
That's the
I'm looking
guy.
at
That's the guy.
bro. I'm looking at Kvaratskhelia. I'm looking at what's his name? I'm looking at Kunya, Adoma Lukman. I'm looking at, bro, I've got a few names under my belt, like they are genuinely, bro. I've got a few names on Mamouche from Thingy. He's another player that I like. I really, really like. So yeah, bro, like I've got a couple of names, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, man's like that side there, it's not a bad side in Europe. Like, there's so many kind of like left wingers, kind of left tens, like people are saying Rodrigo. I don't think he'll ever leave Real Madrid. Like, but it is what it is. But yeah, there's a couple of names, bro, like we could potentially get. It's just whether United go and, like, for me, that's where the priorities are this summer. Them tens, bro. Yeah, I mean, striker is a priority. Don't get me wrong, but go and get me them 10 role positions, bro. If you could go and get me them 10 roles, I'm happy with that one. I'm more than, happy with that one. So go and get me them 10 roles, and then you get go scoring tens, and it helps us in that way. But yeah.
So where would Bruno fit into that then? Because you've because you've got Diallo. So say for example, you've got Højlund at the tip, you've got Diallo to the right of him. Bruno at the moment is playing to the left, right?
Left, but then he's now also been deployed as an 8 as well, which again, he's almost like that player that I think will get eased out sooner or later. Like, I do, because he's almost like he can't, I don't think, fit in that 10 role because he's not dynamic enough in terms of the way you've got to be as a 10 in that role. It's not the traditional 10 that he used to play with, where he's got so much freedom and space. You've got to be good with what you do. And then you've got the 8 role, which, cool, he can get stuck in and he can be a bit tenacious, but also that position has to be disciplined. And he sometimes would love to launch it, or sometimes he might get caught out, trying to do something daft. So he's almost like looking like a square peg in round hole, like right now at the minute in the system. He's there because he's available. He's there because he's a leader. He's there because he's a captain. Once you remove them privileges and you remove them situations, then that's where he becomes a bit of a spare part, really. And that's when the manager says, you know what? I can't just put you in a system just because you're Bruno Fernandes. I've now got to realize that I've got to break this team down and make some comfortable decisions, bro. And I'm here for it, bro. And he's making that step by step, bro. Like, if it means Dalot doesn't play because he's not a left wing back, cool. If it means that certain players don't play, you know what I mean? Lissandro might not be good enough at left centre back, cool. Make them ugly decisions, because you know why? This football club needs that, bro. It needs someone to come in and make them tough decisions.
Yeah, I agree. I tell you who's one player who I was so upset that you got, and he's starting to kind of justify it. Mazraoui.
Yeah, bro. Proper.
I think even Ugarte started to settle in a bit more.
Yeah, bro. You live with Ugarte as well, when you think you were
I'll be honest. I was someone who really wanted to do Ugarte, and I've been dragged by our fan base, being like, "Cal, your talent ID is shocking." I actually think he's starting to look a good player.
Bro, I watched him the whole Copa America. I watched him, when he was at PSG, and I said to myself, "Yo, this player, Sport Lisbon as well." But the Copa America one for me was one of them where I liked his desire. I liked his tenacity. I liked his energy, ball recovery. He's willing to drive into space. Like, he's got qualities, Ugarte. But people got caught up in the whole 3-1-6 on the Ten Hag, where he got a little bit exposed against you lot. He played against you lot and got exposed, and they're like, whoa, like, it can happen, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And I think he got exposed by, was it Tottenham game as well? So, like, it's difficult to kind of judge a player based on one game. But we got to realize he's adapting, and now he's starting to settle now. And listen, Amorim knows him best, and he knows, he knows that, yo, listen, brother, you're a good player, bro, and we need to protect you, man. If you go get Edison next to him, or
just gonna say him,
boy,
a Kante type player who's just all action,
all action. You know what I mean, and someone who as well can can do a bit as well in going forward as well. So listen, it's gonna be a long rebuild, but bro, Marcus Rashford leaving is a massive sign of United saying, you know what?
Yeah.
We're here to now make them tough decisions that we should have made 10 years ago, but we're now doing it now. And you lot had to do that as well with certain players leaving.
Yeah.
It has to be done. Chelsea have done it. Arsenal done it with Aubameyang. You know, so you have to make them tough decisions, but time will tell. Time will tell. But listen, Callum, appreciate you, man. It's been a lovely show again, bro. And yeah, man, let them know where they can find you, brother, again.
Yeah, you can find me on Team Coppish along with Matt and Drift for all content regarding Liverpool and football. And then you can also find me on the Sanderson Show for combat stuff such as MMA and boxing. So yeah, again, bro, pleasure again as always to do this. And you know I rate you in this game, man.
Come on. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it, now. Big up to everyone. Like I said, make sure you follow Team Coppish. Make sure you follow Callum on his personal channel. And yeah, like I said, people, man, we'll be back next time for another weekly catch up with Callum. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.